Full disclosure, I wrote this out in October, and it was way before the announcement of Fox maybe selling some of its properties to Disney. Unfortunately, my predictions were a little too spot on, so now I have to rush to get this video finished before it's a full-fledged finished deal announcement. Anyways, since Iron Man first hit screens in 2008, Marvel Studios has been carrying on about their three-phase plan for their properties. These phases have included over a dozen movies, multiple TV shows, and one-shots that have had an extremely detailed and, well, marvelous execution for the most part. While Marvel Studios has primarily revolved around the Avengers, let's not discount Guardians of the Galaxy or the Defenders. They've worked really hard to interconnect this very expansive universe. But with Phase 3 coming to a close, what could be next for Marvel Studios? Just in case anyone isn't clear, Marvel Studios is the movie company associated with Marvel Comics, but Marvel Studios can't produce a film on any comic character that they want. Unfortunately, Marvel Studios is relatively new as gigantic budget movie companies go, so other studios like Fox and Universal had already purchased the movie rights to a lot of Marvel characters before Marvel Studios came into existence. However, now that Disney owns Marvel, they are chomping at the bit to bring the entire Marvel universe back home, as Disney is one of the most protective companies in the world for their copyrighted material. Seriously, Disney bought back Oswald the Lucky Rabbit a few years ago, one of the first successful characters that Walt Disney created, just for the sake of owning him. Aside from a few Wii games, Oswald has never made a strong return in the Disneyverse. So, keeping all of that in mind, this gives Marvel Studios a huge advantage moving forward. And although some have speculated that Marvel Studios will reboot their Avengers universe after Phase 3 ends, I think it's way too soon to consider that as an option. All of the characters are now heavily tied to their actors, and trying to erase that a few years after Phase 3 ends will probably irritate fans more than entice them. But there is a better option available, and it's one that no one seems to be talking about. Or, edit in, I guess no one was talking about before the announcement the other day. Fox owns the rights to characters from franchises like XMen and the Fantastic Four. Arguably, Fantastic Four has never been paired with writers or directors who really got superhero movies. I mean, they hit bullet points, but Fantastic Four films have always been more like cheesy kids movies, and the franchise has been mishandled the entire time. X-Men, on the other hand, has been a more successful and lucrative franchise for Fox, spanning 9 films in less than 20 years. Really, I thought they killed the series with X3, and X-Men Origins Wolverine didn't do them any favors. But then Fox eventually turned it around with First Class, and went back to getting what makes a superhero film interesting. Now, if you have a company like Disney knocking on the door wanting those movie rights back ASAP, I can see where Fox might willingly give up Fantastic Four, but they'd be nuts to give up X-Men after their hugely successful reboot, right? Well, I think Fox has done just that. We have the original trilogy, X-Men, X2, and X3, the reboot trilogy, First Class, Days of Future Past, and Apocalypse. Then we have the Wolverine trilogy that just ended with Logan, and Logan was one of the only films to not include an ending credit scene because there really aren't any doors left open. For those of you who haven't seen Logan, go no further. But to summarize, Logan is set in the not too distant future where humanity has basically succeeded in wiping out every mutant on the planet. There are a few rogues left, and no, not that kind of rogue. Although she doesn't age and her superpowers should literally keep her alive forever, meaning Rogue's absence should require more explanation. But the takeaway here for Logan is that there are almost no mutants left, and by the end of the film, both Charles Xavier and Wolverine have died. At that point, the world is left with a few mutants with meh powers and some next generation kids who were genetically modified, but for all intents and purposes, every mutant we've come to meet in the X-Men franchise is gone for good. Logan plays out like a long goodbye for the X-Men, making it the perfect time to sell the franchise back to Disney. Short of making an alternate timeline, there's literally nowhere left for Fox to take these movies. And even if Fox wanted to keep Logan's daughter and the other next-gen mutants in their back pocket, they could still give Disney the main iconic characters back with no real hang-ups. And that is where Marvel Studios can have the fantastic task of rebooting X-Men as the next project in their lineup. X-Men is such a diverse, complicated universe that they could easily make a new three-phase plan out of that franchise. And so many X-Men cross over with other Marvel characters that it would also give Marvel Studios the perfect excuse to keep using their original movie characters and actors like Robert Downey Jr. for cameos in future X-Men movies. And it would be glorious if done correctly. Honestly, I don't think any other studio would ever give X-Men the time and attention it deserves to be developed into a comic-worthy translation. Fox is certainly out of ideas, and with the financial powerhouse of Disney in the mix, anything is possible. So I cannot imagine a better task for Marvel Studios to adopt than reinventing the X-Men movies. Yeah, I might be overthinking it, but that's literally my job. Well, that's all I have for now, but this video's not quite over yet. I get a lot of comments that say, do a theory on this topic, but I've already done those theories. So please consider going to my main channel page and clicking on the video tab so that way you can see everything I've done. You will probably find a lot of things you like that you never even knew that I posted. I want to let you know that I also have two other channels, Say Halo Goodbye Gaming and the Fanily Family Vlogs. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed enough to hit subscribe and share. I can use all the help I can get to let other people know that this channel exists. And if you made it this far, leave me a comment that says something like, hey, I made it to the end, and then let me know what kind of videos you want to see in the future. I can't make any promises, but the more people that request something, the more I can look into it. Okay, well, I love you. I'll see you in the next video.